Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Brittany. Nice to meet you. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, here we do curly hair tips and tricks. So if you want to rock your best curls, make sure to tap that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post. So you guys already know what we're going to be discussing today based on the title of this video, but this is actually going to be a two-part video. So in part one, we're going to go through why I stopped following the curly girl method and all of my reasoning. And then in part two, we're going to be doing some curly girl method myth busting. I actually partnered with a cosmetic scientist to go through some of the key curly girl method claims, so make sure you turn on your post notifications so you don't miss this one. I'll be uploading it the day after I upload this video. Just to level set, if you're totally new, the curly girl method is a way of caring for curly hair that posits that sulfates, silicones, parabens, drying alcohols, waxes, and other ingredients are bad for curly hair, and that botanical or plant-based ingredients should be prioritized. I'm sure you guys have heard all about this method online. It's everywhere from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube, and people show amazing results, almost miraculous results, showing their hair going from kind of limp and damaged to healthy, bouncy curls. And if you watch my curly journey video, that's pretty much exactly what happened to me. So why would I stop? So to understand more about why I quit, you have to know a little bit more about me. I have a pretty skeptical eye, I would say, and I really value evidence-based information. For a couple years now, I had started to get annoyed by the clean beauty movement. It was growing in popularity, and it didn't really seem to fit with my evidence-based way of thinking. As you guys know, the clean beauty movement says that there is a long list of ingredients that are unfit for regular use and that non-toxic ingredients are best. And it peddles this fear-based marketing in a pretty package and a high price point, justified by the idea that these products are going to keep your family safe. I wasn't really a fan of all of this marketing, and it seemed like every single product on the market was free of some ingredient, and that just didn't sit right with me. So as a result, I started to make an active effort to follow accounts with experience in cosmetic science, cosmetic chemistry, to get a little bit more background around all these ingredients that everyone was claiming would probably kill you if you use them. So I followed accounts like The Eco Well, Lab Muffin Beauty Science, Dr. Ginza. I'm also going to link all of these accounts in the description box below. Highly recommend you take a look at all of them. But I really just started doing a lot of learning and started going down a lot of rabbit holes. And something that I was really shocked to learn after following these accounts is that a lot of marketing claims are based on consumer reaction and not necessarily scientific evidence. So let me repeat that. A marketing claim that a certain ingredient might be bad for you is based on the reaction of consumers, not scientific evidence. Wouldn't you want what's in your products to be based on whether or not these ingredients actually work well for you? I'm gonna give an example. So take parabens. Pretty much every single product I own says paraben free on the front. And for the longest time, I thought parabens were bad for you because, I mean, why would it say paraben free on every single product if this ingredient wasn't like really, really bad for you? Turns out there was mass panic after a poorly designed study implied that parabens cause breast cancer. The media got a hold of this study and people were scrambling to use products that didn't contain parabens. So what do brands do? They start slapping paraben free on the front of their products, start removing parabens, and start using other preservatives. But 6 months after the fact, the authors of this study released a statement saying that their findings do not imply that parabens cause breast cancer. And the scientific community at large does not believe that parabens cause breast cancer. But parabens are one of the safest, most widely studied preservatives out there, with some of the lowest rates of allergic reaction compared to other preservatives. In fact, a lot of these newer preservatives that we've started using in place of parabens have less research behind them and have a higher rate of allergic reaction. So tell me again, why does every product say paraben free? And so you see what I'm trying to get at? This consumer panic and misinformation is not matching up with what the scientific community is trying to say. So these accounts were incredibly valuable in helping me learn about ingredients and the fear-based marketing that a lot of brands were perpetuating. But the thing is that these brands also posted about ingredients that I avoided during the curly girl method. And I just kind of ignored those posts. I was like, you know what? These people don't have curly hair, so they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know that sulfates and silicones are bad for me. They do not see the transformation that I've undergone. They have no idea what they're talking about. How rude of me to think that of someone who has a higher level of education than I will ever have. But that's cognitive dissonance for you, and I just kind of brushed it off, scrolled past any of those posts that I saw. But as time went on, I really started to doubt myself. I was kind of like, Brittany, if you're going to apply this criticism to the clean beauty movement, you kind of have to apply the same criticism to the curly girl method. And then I started thinking, okay, what caused my hair to have this transformation? What about the fact that I started listening to my hair, deep conditioning regularly, getting cuts? I mean, I stopped straightening. That kind of made a big difference. And then there was the nail in the coffin. I was watching a Swavey Curly Courtney video, literally a random one about her Zotos routine. And for those of you that don't know, many of the Zotos products have isopropyl alcohol near the bottom of the list. This is a drying alcohol, and had I been following the curly girl method, this is a line of products that I just never would have used. Ever. Just would have completely ignored it, like seen the label, seen isopropyl alcohol, ignore. And so Courtney reached out and was like, hey, I know that this alcohol can be drying. Why is it in your formulation? This product was a conditioner, and the brand told her that in order to dissolve one of the super moisturizing ingredients into the formulation, they needed to use isopropyl alcohol as a solvent. So it needed to help dissolve one of the other ingredients in order to make this super duper moisturizing formulation. Furthermore, this drying alcohol dissolved in the bottling process. In addition, it was in the last 5 ingredients, meaning that in total it made up less than 1% of the formulation. So knowing that, why would I avoid this ingredient? In fact, why would I avoid any ingredient? Because I'm not a cosmetic scientist and I don't know why a single ingredient might be included in a formulation. I have no idea. I'm not a formulator, I'm just a consumer. So this was a turning point for me. I decided that I was no longer going to follow the curly girl method because I didn't want to perpetuate the myth that certain ingredients were bad for your curls, because I personally have no idea. Might certain ingredients work better for me than others? Sure, but I'm not going to claim that they're going to wreck your curls. One of the criticisms I got when I initially started posting about this was like, well, how do I know what products to use then? And I get that. I mean, the curly girl method, the good thing about it is that it kind of narrows down the field of products. And anytime I've ever been to a drugstore hair product section, it's pretty overwhelming. Like, there's a lot. For me, I like to look for products that are moisturizing and have protein. But after that, it's going to take a lot of experimentation, just like the curly girl method. You can't just buy a product and expect it to work for you. You still have to experiment. That's what I encourage you to do if you don't want to follow the curly girl method anymore. Follow your favorite curl accounts for recommendation. There are non-CG Facebook groups, and experiment. And that's how you figure out what's going to work best for you. I've already started to experiment with using sulfates and silicones more often, and so far I've had really good results. I've actually used silicones in my hair today, so this is a Botanica beauty wash. So I used their definer cream, so that has silicones in it. Then their mousse, which has water-soluble silicones in it and lanolin, and then their gel, which I think is Curly Girl approved. But if you want to see what I'm using on a more regular basis, I'm actually going to be tracking what I'm using on Instagram with the hashtag unrestricted curls, so feel free to join in. There's actually already a bunch of curlies who have started using this hashtag anytime they use non-CG products, so we can all learn together and learn what's working and what's not. And lastly, I do want to be clear about something. I am not telling you to stop following the Curly Girl method if it works for you. What I am asking you to do is stop demonizing certain ingredients as toxic or bad. Acknowledge that all of these ingredients can have a place in a healthy hair routine, and understand that we are all laymen without the ability to properly evaluate a formula and why a single ingredient might be included. And while we're on the topic, Think Dirty and the EWG, or the Environmental Working Group, they do not count as trustworthy sources. Follow the accounts I linked in my bio if you want more information as to why. but I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, that's pretty much why I stopped following the curly girl method. Like I mentioned, part 2 will be up tomorrow, where I talk through the main curly girl method myths that I chatted through with a cosmetic scientist. So you're gonna get to see that scientific perspective on all of the claims that the curly girl method makes. But if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to check back on my account tomorrow. I'll see you guys then.